Welcome back. This will be a very short video concerning security and protection. In an Excel sheet, you can see that I'm using the data from a previous video, and I'd like to look at this and see what parts of this information should be subject to change and which parts are really locked in and shouldn't be changed. We'll look at that. Let's say that the student list, the names are done and I don't want to change those. This yearly average is actually a formula, and there would be no reason to change that. It's always going to average the values from the 4 marking periods. The letter grade is a vertical lookup. My grading scale is not going to change, and my grades are not going to change. I may decide to change my comments, but for a moment, let's say that these are the ones that I want. So, first of all, this table is not going to change at all. This vertical lookup is not going to change because it's a formula and it always references the same things. And that's the same as far as the comment. The comment is another vertical lookup that references the G column and then pulls values from the M column. So the only things on this page that are really subject to change would be the actual averages for the marking period. Those I don't want to lock up because I have to enter those at the beginning of the year. These will be blank, but all the other things don't need to change. So I'm going to select. I could select these values like this, but that would limit me to these 18 rows. So to be a little more flexible, I can select the entire column in case I need to add another user down here. And then I'm going to put my mouse over the top of the cells, right click, and say Format Cells. Now in this case I want to jump to the Protection tab, and you'll notice that it's locked by default. Well, if these cells were locked, why was I able to enter data into them? And the reason is none of this goes into effect until I come up here and I protect the sheet. So even though by default all cells are locked, that has no effect unless you protect the sheet. So I'm getting ready to do that, so I am going to unlock those particular cells. And then we'll come to Protect Sheet, and you'll notice that a password is an option. Now you've got to be very careful with this. If you put a password in there in order to unprotect the sheet and get access to something else, like, ooh, I decided that I need to add another user down here, and I didn't leave these cells unprotected, I would need to know the password, and if I forget it, I'm going to be kind of stuck. So you can leave that blank unless you're passing this document on to somebody else, and just say OK. And now the sheet is protected, so if I go to change a name, you can see that I can't do that. I'm going to get an error message. But if I were to go in here and change a grade, that would be okay because these cells, these 1, 2, 3, 4 columns, are unprotected. Now, what I really should have done here was probably take some additional cells in down here and unprotect them as well in case I needed to add anyone to my list. So that's a problem. Let me see if I can do that. So I've highlighted cells 19 through 30, right click. Oh, I can't get in there to format the cells because the sheet is protected. So I just unprotect the sheet with a single click, right click, format cells, unprotect those, and then protect the sheet again. Okay. Oh, really wanted that in 2, so let's take it and drop it in there. Get rid of that little extra space I noticed. And that's fine. I can put in grades. Maybe Randy showed up later, so he was only here for the 3rd and 4th marking periods. But he did very, very well during those 3rd and 4th marking periods. Let's make him do even better. Oh, problem here is that I never copied down my vertical lookup formula into these cells, and it's not going to allow me to do it now. So again, I would unprotect my sheet, copy down the formula, reprotect my sheet, and all is good. So that's the basics of protecting a sheet and locking or unlocking particular cells. You also have the option to protect the entire workbook if you want, and that means that in one click I could protect all of these tabs as well, and I could do that by adding a password to it. Okay, I hope you find that useful. I do. When I do something complex, I usually like to protect it, even if I'm the only one using it, because it prevents me from altering formulas unless that's my true intent. Unless I absolutely am focused on doing that, it prevents me from doing it accidentally.